A new Inspector General report finds Pete Hegseth abused his authority, blurred military and political roles, and mishandled sensitive communications when he and other top officials put imminent military operations against the Houthis in Yemen in a Signal chat back in March 2025.
This is truly Orwellian. The independent Inspector General found that Hegseth had indeed disclosed operational detailed plans to attack Yemen on an unsecured, unapproved communication device. What's it called, Sam? The Signal.
Signal is an app, and you can do simple messaging through the Signal app.
It's not secured. It's not approved by the military.
Correct.
And they concluded, as a result, if this information had fallen into the hands, I'm quoting, of U.S. adversaries, Houthi forces, the forces were attacking in Yemen, might have been able to counter U.S. forces or reposition personnel and assets to avoid planned U.S. strikes. Even though these events did not ultimately occur, the Secretary's actions created a risk to operational security that could have resulted in failed U.S. mission objectives and potential harm to U.S. pilots. In what is truly an Orwellian response, Hegseth and his spokesperson says, total exoneration. Total exoneration.
What a dumbass.
No classified information shared. Well, two things about that. One, the information that the secretary entered into the chat from the U.S. command detailing the types of aircraft, launch times, and strike times for the operation. According to the report, the operational movement should be classified as secret. That's how it came out of the Central Command at one of the highest levels of secrecy. Now, it is true that Hegseth had the authority to declassify it. But 2 points about that. One, there's no record of his declassifying. It's like Donald Trump claiming, I thought in my head it was going to be declassified, and so it was. Utter nonsense. Secondly, if he had in fact declassified it, it would have been one of the most irresponsible acts by a Secretary of Defense in history. Why in the world would you declassify detailed plans for a military operation prior to that operation taking place?
It's nonsensical. Let's be honest.
It's nonsensical. Third, it makes no difference whether it was classified or not. As the report said, it didn't hinge on the classification. It hinged on the content, right, Sam, of what was released. And it is the content that created a risk that could have resulted in a failed mission and potential harms to U.S. pilots. So the classification status, had absolutely nothing to do with the findings. And by the way, who was one of those who blasted Hillary Clinton for using an unsecured server while she was Secretary of State, even though no military information was shared on it? Pete Hegseth.
Oh, well, of course, yeah.
Of course, along with other Republicans. Consistency, you'll never get it from this crew.
And, we're seeing, all these people who fell for Trump's line of, we're going to stop all military foreign involvement. Now, we've seen the Houthis attack in Yemen. Now we're seeing Venezuela. We saw Iran earlier in his tenure.
Attacks on the boats in international waters.
And I still don't get why people fell for that, because even in his first administration, there was not a major war that he entered the U.S. into, but here are just some foreign conflicts that he either verbally was invested in or militarily or financially was invested in. Iran with the Soleimani strike, North Korea, his fire and fury rhetoric against the leader of North Korea, strikes in Syria, anti-ISIS operations in Iraq, increased support of the Saudi campaign in Yemen.
Yes.
Again, these people who are like, oh, Trump's all about not getting involved in foreign conflicts. And it's like, those were not massive stories. So I get why it didn't hit the zeitgeist of the country entirely. But again, you do about 15 seconds of research and you can see that Trump and his administration have never been about avoiding foreign conflicts. And we're seeing it more and more as we now enter into this Venezuela period. And it seems pretty obvious to all of us that it's all about oil.
Yes. I was going to give a 3-word answer, oil.
I knew you were going to say that. That's why I said oil.
Yes. Thanks for watching our video. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and become a member today.